A lot of you might have heard the word financial literacy, and many of you still don't understand what it means. While I was going through YouTube researching the next topic of my video, I stumbled upon videos on financial literacy, and I went into a rabbit hole of hours and hours of videos on that topic. The YouTube algorithm recommended to me the top rated videos on financial literacy. I watched some of them because frankly they were quite long. Hours of budgeting, investing, debt, and tips on how to manage your money. And then I stumbled upon a summary on a book on the psychology of money. And honestly, the advice was good. A lot of things made sense, but there was a lot of repetition and it was frankly quite long. And honestly, a lot of things that normal people or beginners need to understand were lacking in these videos. Some of them were for people who were quite advanced in their journey to be financially independent. For others, it was too basic, but nothing was ideal. So in this video, I'm going to summarize everything that I could retain after watching all those videos, after reading the book summary and doing my own research into the simplest financial literacy breakdown you will ever hear without needing hours of content. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about financial literacy. So essentially, after watching all these videos, I realized all of them repeat some fundamental core principles. And trust me, this is not necessarily bad. It's actually a good thing. It means that majority of them are clear about some fundamental concept that I think everyone should know. So the number one thing that everyone talks about, regardless of style, is knowing where your money goes. Because it's simple. You can't fix something that you do not track. Like if you don't have any idea where your money is going or where you are spending, basically you're spending categories, you won't be able to fix it. So the simplest formula to understand that is to know what money you are getting, where your money is going, and to see what's left after essential expenses. So this advice was consistent across multiple videos. But the part that many of them skipped or missed or didn't touch enough was to figure out the discipline behind having that. But the real lesson a lot of these videos skipped was the discipline behind it. So financial literacy is not about downloading an app that will help you budget. It's about developing consistency of your habits even when you don't feel motivated. I read in the summary of the book is that most people don't have a math problem, they have a behavior problem, meaning we know what we exactly need to do, but we let our emotions dictate how will we act on it. Things like boredom, stress, comparison, these kill financial discipline. So the very first thing is not actually budgeting, is rather controlling your impulses long enough for the budget to start working for you. So the next thing that most of these videos were agreeing on was something called an emergency budget. I know it's a fancy advice, everyone talks about it, but it actually works. I have watched these videos and I have practical experience about it. When I lost my job, the emergency funds really helped. It made sure I was calmer, I wasn't worrying, and I wasn't taking jobs that weren't suited for me. So even if you don't have a lot of money, even $500, start putting them towards an emergency fund, and your goal should be to get up to from 1 month. Make short-term goals. Like, okay, I want to have my emergency funds that will last 1 month. Then 2 months, then 3 months, then up till 6 months. People sometimes go for a year, but your goals should always start small. Do not make a goal like I wanna have an emergency fund that will last me a whole year. Just start small. Starting small and then reaching those goals give you a nice dopamine fulfillment, and that will really help you in staying consistent. The next thing all of these videos were agreeing on is paying your debt. But I would like to just add that every debt or every borrowing is not wrong. There are smart ways to manage your debt that can actually help you in developing financial literacy and eventually achieving financial freedom. So every one of these videos were talking about how credit card or overutilization of credit card or using your credit card is one of the fastest ways of achieving financial ruin, and they are partially right. High interest debts need to go first, but here's something that many of them forget to explain, and trust me, it might sound weird, but it actually works. Debt is not your enemy. I know it still sounds strange, but real quick, hear me out. Debt only becomes a problem when it's uncontrolled or used emotionally. But when you use debt strategically, you can actually make money out of it. Couple of examples that I've already explained in detail in my previous videos. Some of them include is getting a card with a 0% APR, using your credit to buy things and then paying off before your statement closing date, so you get rewards, Many times your credit cards offer you rewards or cashbacks. These are, for example, if you use a credit card to buy, let's say, $100 of something, and if you pay it in cash or with your debit card, you will be spending the whole $100. But if you are using a credit card that gives you like 3% or 5% return, you will be making money out of your credit card. At the same time, if you pay back whatever you owe before your statement closing date, for example, expenses that you will usually have regardless of whatever you do, use your credit card to pay for these expenses and then pay them off before your statement closing date and make rewards out of it. Many times people misunderstand that financial ruin happens due to debt. It does not happen exclusively because of that. It happens due to emotional decisions or compulsive decisions or your impulses that lead you to financial ruin. That is not the enemy, it's your emotional impulses. So yes, eliminating high interest debt is important, but at the same time, what's more important is learning how to use debt smartly. The next thing these videos discuss are assets and liabilities. Consider an inverse relationship between assets and liabilities. Consider if your liabilities go up, your asset will go down. Not necessarily true in all situations, but hear me out. So basically, assets put money back in your pocket, whereas liabilities take money out of your pocket. Real wealth and financial independence come from accumulating assets rather than looking wealthy. Your car finance is not an asset. A Porsche is not an asset, but investment in an index fund is an asset. Similarly, your lifestyle, your daily expenses, these are all liabilities. They are not assets. A house, which is an immovable asset, but if it's high interest and you're not making anything out of it, then that's a liability. So understanding what is a liability and what's an asset for you is very important. Regardless of whatever video you watch, you need to understand the difference between an asset and a liability, and they are interchangeable at times. So figuring that out is one of the most important things you need to learn to develop financial literacy. And the next thing these videos talk about is investing long term rather than short term. But I like to emphasize on something called behaving long term. Even if you invest long term, if you haven't changed your habits and develop consistency, you won't be able to sustain it. So with investing long term, we need to also talk about behaving long term. So one thing these videos talk about, and rightly so, is saving is not enough. Inflation eats your cash. Every year, inflation will devalue your money as things get expensive. And wealth grows only if you invest consistently. Saving alone will not make you wealthy. But again, as I talked before, investing alone will not help if you do not invest on your behavior at the same time. Developing consistency, getting rid of emotional impulses that make you lose asset. Most people who do not fail because they invested in a terrible asset or they invested in a bad stock. They fail because they were chasing hype, they panicked, or switching between different strategies. I talked about it more in my crypto video. You can watch them on my channel. So the biggest takeaway is learning not just to invest long term, but also to modify your habits long term. And the final thing that I could gather from these videos is to learn how to protect your money. And this is something I would like to emphasize on. Money earned is not enough if you can't protect it. I've talked about how meme coins and short-term crypto investment can lead to financial ruin. So it's important that you understand money earned is not enough. It also needs to be protected. So diversification, making smart choices, and knowing where to invest is important. So now, after watching all these videos, I've explained to you what they are talking about. But now, something that they missed or they didn't touch enough. For me, having a plan and a whole system is very important. I can watch a video, but at times if I do not understand what I have to do next, like every single step or the very basic first step, I won't be able to gain anything from that video. And now I'm gonna talk about everything that they missed. So all of them talk about a budget, but not a lot of them talk about what to do on your payday. So here's a simple real life method that I myself use. Step 1, the moment your paycheck comes, pay your essentials. These include your rent, utilities, groceries. These should be predictable. No surprises here. Choose due dates that are aligning with your payday so you're not stressing your finances, and never let the month surprise you. Now, step 2 is automation. So always try to automate any savings before you touch the money. For example, at payday, automatically $100 will move from your account to your savings account, or $50 will move into your Vantage account for investing in stocks. When it's automated, discipline becomes effortless. Like, you don't have to actively work on discipline when you've already automated a system, and after a few months, that system becomes a habit. So automation is good. Use it. Now, step 3 is very important. And this is something I learned through working out. So when we are working out, we go through phases where we need to bulk or cut. During cut phase, we have to reduce our calories, and that's a very hard job. You have to consistently eat in a calorie deficit, eat food that's not always tasty, but it's good for you. One thing trainers always talk about is giving yourself a cheat day or giving you some buffer calories. Similarly, in finance, the best way to develop a discipline is to give yourself some guilt-free money. So for example, if you enjoy eating out or shopping, so in your budget, adjust a buffer that is for you to sometimes indulge in your emotional spending without going crazy, because this will help you in developing consistency without going into a spending spree. This is something a lot of people don't talk about, and many people experience it, and it is, in my opinion, the number one silent killer of wealth. Imagine you get a raise and instantly your lifestyle gets an upgrade too. Better phone, better cars, better dinners. Life gets an instant upgrade. So this is one rule you should always stick with. When you get a raise, your savings get a raise, and afterwards your lifestyle gets a raise. It should never be you get a raise, your lifestyle gets a raise. Always you get a raise, your savings get a raise. Now the next thing that I want to talk about is something that I personally struggled with as well, and I still somewhat struggle with it, is emotional spending. Let me be honest, a lot of people struggle with emotional spending. For me, emotional spending usually used to hit when I was stressed or bored, or I was having a bad day. Whenever that happened, I instantly would start spending money on an emotional impulse. Suddenly, going on Amazon and ordering random things that I don't necessarily need becomes a self-care or becomes very important. Going through different things or trying to buy things that I don't necessarily need, and I only need it just because I'm bored or stressed right now, or I'm having a bad day. And frankly, emotional spending is one of the most obvious and brutal reasons that most people go over their budget. So here's what I did in order to stop or at least reduce these emotional impulses. So number one thing that you have to do is, whenever you get an urge or have something that looks like, okay, you're gonna go through an emotionally unstable phase and you might indulge in an emotional spend, put yourself in a 24-hour pause. That means that for 24 hours, you're gonna wait on that spend, and after 24 hours, if you still need it, you will buy. Most impulses and most urges usually tend to go away in 10 minutes, sometimes 4 hours, but majority of them will go away in the next 24 hours. Next thing is keeping a wish list. So imagine you go in a grocery store and without having a list on what you want to buy, you're going to buy more than you actually need. So this is a habit people do when they are going for grocery shopping. They make a list and then they go and only buy things that's on a list. Similarly, if you tend to get emotional impulses, make a wish list and then buy things from the wish list that are already on there, not something you just watched or just saw on TikTok and want to buy. These tiny interventions tend to help you in identifying habits that lead to emotional spending and tend to help you in controlling it. I struggle with it, so I understand it's hard. It's not easy. So the first step is at least identifying what triggers it and what do you do when it happens, and at least developing some habits to at least reduce it. Slowly and gradually you will get there. So the next thing that I noticed a lot of videos ignored or didn't touch upon was fees. So many videos will tell you to invest there or that, or try investing here or making an account here, but a lot of them forget to explain that a lot of these places or online brokers have a fee attached to it, and even if it's 0.5 or 1%, over here it adds up and becomes a significant amount. So the best way to avoid it is to find low fee index funds or ETF. Always compare, see which gives you the best rate and go for those. So this advice a lot of videos used to skip, but some of them are started to catch up and I do see it more often. So I will still touch on it briefly so that you guys understand how important it is. No matter the amount, you can invest even with $50. You do not need to have $1,000 or $100,000 to invest. You can start with $50. Compounding will help. Over time, consistency will help. Do not think of that number as too small. Starting is important, not the starting amount. And the final thing that I would like to talk about that many of these videos missed, and something I think is very important for people to understand, is the word enough. Knowing when this amount of money is enough for you, rather than moving the goalpost over and over again. One of the most important ideas that I came across is $1 million is not the goal. Contentment is the goal. Most people fail financially because they constantly move the goalpost. Let's say if their first goal was, let's say, I will be happy with $50,000. Then when they reach that amount, then say, nah, I'm gonna be satisfied with $100,000, and eventually $1 million. And it goes on. And their whole life, they're chasing one goalpost after another instead of enjoying what they already have, or knowing when to say enough is enough. Instead, define your goals. First, figure out what amount will make you feel safe. What lifestyle do you truly want, and what expenses actually matter? For example, if you wanna be financially independent, just so you do not have to wake up at 9 every morning just to do someone's work. If you're satisfied with being financially independent by not having to have a full-time job, then that is your goalpost, and that is something you should stick with. So setting small, realistic goals like saving your first $500 or $1,000 or $5,000, that is important, rather than saying, okay, my financial goal is to make $1 million in a year. If that does not happen, that is gonna demotivate you a lot. So making small realistic goals and then building upon them over time is important, and knowing when it is enough, and when you are saying, okay, I have enough money, then I can relax, I can settle, I can have a family, or I can live with my family. That is important. Now I'm going to give you a 7-step roadmap that you can follow in order to start right away. Like after watching this videos, you can follow this 7-step roadmap, and this will actually help you in developing more financial literacy and eventually achieving financial freedom. Step 1 is tracking your financial spend. If you track your money in, your money out for 1 month, you will figure out where the financial blind spots are. For me, those were ordering out. I was spending a lot of money that was unnecessarily on ordering out, whereas if I was cooking in, I would have saved a lot of money. When I figured that out and I modified that behavior, it helped me in reducing my monthly liabilities and helping me save more. Step 2 is building an emergency fund. Every month, take away $200, $300, $500, whatever you can safely afford out of your main account, shift it to a saving account and don't touch it. And try doing it consistently. Any amount that you can afford, start each month and keep it consistent for the next 6 months. Eventually, you will have enough money in your savings account that even if you have an emergency that requires a lot of money, you will have money that will help you in going through that situation. Number 3, I know it sounds trendy, but paying off high debt interest payments is important. These payments eat away on your assets and they are a liability. Getting rid of them from your account is important. So please do that. Now, number 4 is automation. You should instantly activate automation on your bank apps. Have some money getting shifted to your savings account or emergency account or any investment portfolio, so that you have a consistent plan and you don't need to utilize willpower every month in order to save that money. Number 5, this is something that a lot of financial gurus do not expand on, so I'm going to detail it. Your whole plan to invest long term. So long term investment essentially means you buy an asset, you keep it for a very long time, you do not let the noise or short-term market turbulence shake you, and you let compounding do the heavy lifting. The best long-term portfolios are usually very simple. You do not need to figure out stocks or try to predict the market. Just invest in S&P 500 ETF or a global index fund or a mix of both. This is a very safe investment, and unless a zombie apocalypse comes in, the S&P 500 won't crash. So this is how you do it. And then you let compounding take over. And remember, compounding rewards patience, not perfection. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent and patient. Now, step 6. This is something I talked about before as well, but just to emphasize on it again, protecting your money is important. Insurance, diversification, and avoiding scams is important. And this will help you in protecting your money and ensuring that the money you make, you keep. And now, the final and most important part that I would like to emphasize on it. Use money to buy freedom rather than a lifetime. Time, security, breathing room. These matter more than cars or a holiday in Italy. If your money is already giving you freedom, then you're wealthy. Now, as we conclude this video, I would like to emphasize and stress upon financial literacy doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs consistency. Hours of videos, books, summaries, everything boils down to consistent habits and emotional control. So, track your money, save intentionally, protect your gains, and invest long term. And most importantly, remember when to say enough. That's all, folks. That's financial literacy for you. If you want a video on how to invest your first $50 or your first $100, let me know in the comments down below. And you can watch my video on financial discipline here. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Till next time. Bye bye.